Hare Krishna devotees and Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Thank you, Ritesh Prabhu, Aarti Mataji, Pavan Prabhuji, Vishwanath Prabhu for leading the chanting. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Okay, so we will continue with our prayer. Anybody would like to sing today? Nakshamoyini would like to try. So
Hare Krishna. Ibare Karuna Karo Vaishnava Gosam Patita Pavana Toma Binike Huda Jara Nikate Kile Papadu Raja Imunadaya Prabhu Kibako Bhava Gangara Sparsha Hoile Pashate Pava Darshana Pavitra Karo Tomaragu Haristhane Aparadhe Tare Harina Tumasthana Aparadhe Nahi Pavitra Tumara Hridoye Sada Govinda Vishra Govinda ki hona mora Vaishnava para Prati janme kori asha Charane radhu Naruttama koro daya Apana raboli एक बार करुणा करो वैष्णवा गोसाई पतित पावना तुमा बिने के होना हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण
Hare Krishna. Krishna Vigyapati Prarthana ki jai, Shri Narottam Das Thakur ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anybody else would like to read the translation?
I can read, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji, go ahead, please.
Hare Krishna. Translation. O Vaishnav Goswami, please be merciful to me now. There is no one except you who can purify the fallen souls. Where does anyone find such a merciful personality by whose mere audience all sins go far away? After bathing in the waters of the sacred Ganges many times, one becomes purified. But just by the sight of you, the fallen souls are purified. This is your great power. The holy name delivers one who has committed an offense to Lord Hari. But if one commits an offense to you, there is no means of deliverance. Your heart is always the resting place of Lord Govinda. Lord Govinda says, the Vaishnavas are in my heart. I desire the dust of your holy lotus, feet in every birth I may take. Please consider Narottama yours and be kind upon him. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Aarti Mataji. Yes. So by following in the footsteps of Acharya Lakshya Narottam Das Thakur, his name itself is Nar Uttam, which is the topmost amongst the Nar, right? So by following such Vaishnavas, exalted Vaishnavas, by singing these prayers, we seek a drop of mercy from them, and with that mercy, we can make progress in our spiritual life. So, like these exalted Vaishnavas, in the parampara is coming our foremost and eternal Shiksha Guru, Srila Prabhupada, and reading from Prabhupada Lilamrit, chapter 51, which Prabhupada is talking about just chanting Hare Krishna and fight. Prabhupada says chant and fight. So he's doing the same thing in the train journey that we were seeing yesterday, going to Allahabad. He's chanting and he's squashing and fighting against all the arguments that are coming from the materialistic people that his disciples, Rameshwar Swami Maharaj, is bringing from what he is hearing in America and other places, what people are trying to nullify or trying to fight against ISKCON and the Sanatana Dharma. So Prabhupada is giving them solid, responses to all those arguments. In terms of not being able to eat more than 2 times or not able to sleep. Recently we were reading another book, and there, like Guru Maharaj actually was saying, to some of the disciples that we should sleep less. Like generally when a Vaishnava sannyasi comes, we serve them, and we would the etiquette is like a servant, a personal servant of the sannyasi, Guru Maharaj. They would sleep after the Guru has slept, and they would wake up before the Guru has woken up, right? So that's the etiquette. So like that, but Guru Maharaj was just chastising one of the servants, and he was saying, what kind of servant is this? Of course he was sleeping after Guru Maharaj slept, but he was never able to wake up because Guru Maharaj was so pakka about time. He would never miss Mangalarti, and no matter what time he slept, even if he slept at 1:30 in the night, he will be up at 3:30 or 4, to be ready for the Mangalarti at 4. So anyway, so when we were reading that particular pastime, the learning or instruction there was that we have to cut down our sleep. That was Guru Maharaj. Gopal Hari Prabhu, who was here a few months ago, he was sharing his own personal experience with Guru Maharaj, that Guru Maharaj told him that that's okay. You try to sleep little less. That was his instruction to Gopal Hari Prabhu. So like same thing Prabhupada is saying yesterday, that we should try to reduce our sleep. It's just a wastage of time. Of course, that is one part, but the other part is also that sometimes Guru Maharaj would say that like one person, once he was working in computer industry, and Guru Maharaj asked him, how much time do you sleep? He said, I'm trying to sleep 5 to 6 hours. And Maharaj said, no, you should sleep for 7 hours. So that is his compassion. So he was saying, you should sleep for 7 hours because otherwise you will not be able to be not able to concentrate on your work. So like that. But the same instruction, whatever Prabhupada has taught, that is what his disciples are teaching all of us in the parampara. So like that, about sleep, about diet, everything, ahar shuddhi honi chahiye, ahar nidra. If we purify all of these things, then our bhakti will also become pure. And then Prabhupada, after reaching Allahabad, he was chastising his disciples about the mismanagement of the pandal, how it was erected. But again, that is Prabhupada's mercy. All these chastisement from a guru is the discipline that a guru sets is for a disciple who is sincerely dedicated to his guru. So like that. Now Prabhupada is about to go from Allahabad, but they were able to distribute so many wonderful Hindi editions of Prabhupada books yesterday after doing Kirtan in Allahabad. And Prabhupada was touched by the statement of his disciple that he was there to enlighten people. He was in a mood of compassion, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He wanted to share the mercy to as many people as possible. But then when they told him that his health was being deteriorated, he should rather go. There's a more important service, that if he finishes his books, And those books, by distributing, they will be able to touch millions of lives versus just thousands of lives here. And Prabhupada was really moved by that. And so he decided that, okay, he will go to Bhubaneswar. Okay, so let's continue. Yeah, from here. So Mr. Gupta phoned Bombay and arranged for a first-class coach to be added to a train coming from Bombay to Allahabad. The devotees profusely thanked Mr. Gupta, who began proposing that Srila Prabhupada travel throughout India in a royal car like the one they were in. The devotees discussed with him about how they might buy or lease such a car, and it seemed an interesting possibility. But the immediate miracle had been arranged, a coach to take Prabhupada out of the crowded throngs of Kumbh Mela to Calcutta. About a difficult car ride, inching along through the crowds from the Triveni to the train station, Prabhupada and his party finally arrived at the railway station, where government men helped him and his disciples with their luggage and saw to their comfort. From the devotee's point of view, this was the proper respect for a pure devotee of the Lord, the most important person in the world. Yet, such treatment was rare. Srila Prabhupada was pleased, and he asked his secretary to type a letter thanking Mr. Gupta, who was caring for Prabhupada just like a father looking after a son. He invited Mr. Gupta and his family to attend the upcoming Gaur Purnima festival in Mayapur. During the train ride to Calcutta, Srila Prabhupada reiterated his displeasure with the mismanaged ISKCON Pandal at Kumbh Mela. Thousands of guests were coming to the Hare Krishna Pandal without receiving prasadam. Determined that the bad example not be repeated, he dictated a letter to all ISKCON temple presidents. Please accept my blessings. Now, you must arrange in each temple there must be sufficient stock of prasadam for distribution. You can keep first-class cooks, 2 or 3, and they should be always engaged. Whenever any guest comes, he must get prasad. This arrangement must be made, that the cooks prepare 10-20 servings at a time of puris and sabjis, and then you can add halwa and pakoras, and the visitors may be supplied immediately. Whenever a gentleman comes, he must be served. As the 20 servings are being distributed, immediately the cooks prepare another 20 servings and store it. At the end of the day, if no one comes, our own men will take. So there is no loss. You cannot say it is finished, it is not cooked yet, there is no supply for cooking, etc. This must be enforced rigidly. The temple is managed by Srimati Radharani, Lakshmiji. So why should there be want? Our philosophy is, if anyone comes, let him take prasad, chant Hare Krishna, and be happy. Everything is being supplied by Krishna. Krishna is not poor, so why should we deny them? This should be done at any cost. There is no difficulty. It simply requires nice management. At the end of the day, you must sell or give away. If we believe that Krishna is providing for and maintaining everyone, then why should we be misers? This means losing faith in Krishna and thinking that we are the doers and suppliers. We are confident Krishna will supply. Let the whole world come. We can feed them. So please do this nicely. Begin at once. Srila Prabhupada asked to hear the reviews of his books as published in the Krishna Consciousness Movement is authorized. His secretary read one review after another. Professors praising Srila Prabhupada's work and requesting him to go on producing such valuable books. After hearing the reviews, Prabhupada lay down to rest. The pen is mightier than the sword, Rameshwara Swami declared. Yes, Srila Prabhupada answered. It is a revolution. That is what I thought as I wrote on and on. The communists have changed the lives of people throughout the world by their empty literature and false promises. Why not a revolution started on the basis of the absolute knowledge? January 18, 1977. After the intense cold of Kumbh Mela, Prabhupada had recuperated a couple of days in Calcutta. His head cold had gone away, but the swelling in his hands and feet persisted, as did other maladies. Externally, he was diabetic and suffered from poor digestion, as well as from general dwindling of physical powers common to an 81-year-old body. His condition was not suited for continual travel, hard work, frequent lectures, and taxing management. Yet, Prabhupada was transcendental to his apparent material condition. Although sometimes he would inquire about cures, mostly he was callous toward his poor health. Even after receiving a doctor's advice or concluding himself that what was good for his health, he would often ignore it in favor of what he thought was best for spreading Krishna consciousness. Previously, in Vrindavan, he had felt better by drinking the fresh well water, so he thought he might also get relief by drinking the water of the famous Bindu Sarovar near Bhubaneswar. Besides, ISKCON had recently acquired a small donated plot of land outside the city, and Srila Prabhupada's Orient disciple Gaur Govind Swami Maharaj had gone there, constructed 2 simple dwellings, and was making plans to build a temple. The train journey from Calcutta to Bhubaneswar was 12 hours. Another opportunity for Rameshwar Swami to probe. His 30-day assignment as Prabhupada's secretary was almost over, and then he would return to Los Angeles and his American BBD duties. He had come to India set on inquiring from Prabhupada about whether there would be world war, and if so, how book distribution would continue, and how in the future a new world order of Krishna consciousness would be introduced. Prabhupada had answered many of his questions, but there were always more. The Puri Express left Calcutta around 10 p.m. After taking a massage, Srila Prabhupada stretched out on the lower bunk to rest, and Hari Shauri and Rameshwar took the two bunks opposite him. Around midnight, Prabhupada turned on his light, sat up, and began chanting softly on his beads. Within a few minutes, Rameshwar woke and, seeing his spiritual master sitting up, paid obeisances and also sat up, waiting expectantly. Immediately, Prabhupada began to speak about the inevitability of war between Russia and America. Even if America took to Krishna consciousness, the war would be inevitable. The only way to stop the godlessness of communism. When Rameshwar asked if that war would be within his lifetime, Prabhupada said it was difficult to say. It depended, he said, on the devotees' distribution of books and back-to-godhead magazines. Although in Russia the government tried to strictly control all literature, Krishna-conscious books were entering nonetheless and were immediately becoming popular. The communist leaders were becoming fearful, but they also had some respect for Indian culture. Prabhupada said that by increasing book distribution, America and thereafter the whole world would become Krishna conscious. So you have to push on more and more, he said. This opposition, brainwashing charges, means they are recognizing this as a culture. They may like it or not, but they recognize it as something permanent. Prabhupada said he had no political aim, but he knew that Indian culture coupled with American money could save the world. You must think in terms of the whole world, he said, not just one nation. That is our preaching. That is the duty of the GBC. The talk went on for more than 2 hours, and Rameshwar felt completely satisfied by the intimate instructions. Although he had once before asked some of the same questions about book distribution and the war, Prabhupada had chosen not to answer. But now he revealed some of his thoughts, just as a father instructing a trustworthy son. Conditions on the ISKCON land in Bhubaneswar were primitive. 2 small mud-walled huts with thatched roof. Srila Prabhupada occupied one 8 by 12 room in one of the cottages, and his servant and secretary stayed just on the other side of the wall. Electricity had been installed on the land a few days before, so Hari Shauri had placed an electric lamp and the dictating machine on Prabhupada's desk. The second small building, about 25 feet from Prabhupada's hut, was a tiny temporary temple room. A shabby canvas roof spanned the open area between the two buildings, and Prabhupada's Vyasasan was beneath this, arranged so he could lecture at outdoor gatherings. 2 rented tents also stood on the land to accommodate visiting devotees during Prabhupada's stay. Prabhupada's outdoor toilet facilities, about 25 feet behind his hut, consisted of a latrine and a separate area for bathing. Srila Prabhupada did not mind the primitive facilities. In fact, he liked them. Although he was ill and for personal comfort could have been residing in his choice of comfortable buildings in the West, a manor in London, a castle in Paris, a penthouse apartment in New York City, he felt perfectly at home and happy living in a primitive mud and thatch hut on a secluded patch of land in the dust of Orissa. Sitting on the outdoor Vyasasan, Prabhupada spoke to a small gathering of devotees and some local villagers. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said, had 2 favorite places, Bengal and Orissa. And in Orissa, Jagannath Puri, he spent the last 18 years of his life. He went to Vrindavan and South India, but then returned here to stay with his personal associates, Sri Ramananda Rai, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and Shikhi Maiti. Prabhupada quoted a scriptural reference indicating that the spiritual movement for this age will begin from Utkala or Orissa. Srila Prabhupada said Orissa was very special to the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, and his own Guru Maharaj was also born here at Puri. Now we have got a little place here, he said. It doesn't matter if it takes time, but slowly but surely we can develop this center, especially since Bhubaneswar is going to be the capital of Orissa. In the future, many tourists will come to see other attractions of Orissa. Now it is up to the Orients to develop this idea. Prabhupada spoke with Gaur Govinda Swami Maharaj and told him to begin advertising, private meetings in the afternoon and a regular lecture Kirtana Prasadam program at night. That evening, very few visitors came. ISKCON had done little preaching in Orissa, and Prabhupada was not as well known. Mostly local farmers, villagers, and poor children came for the free prasadam. Prabhupada told the audience that he could speak in 3 languages, English, Bengali, and Hindi, but not Oriya. He therefore decided to speak in English and have Gaur Govinda translate. He would speak a few sentences and then pause while Gaur Govind Maharaj gave the Oriya. In this material world, said Prabhupada during his evening lecture, always the attempt is to defy the supremacy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. At the present moment, the so-called scientists' only business is how to defy the supremacy of God. Naturally, this movement has to face many impediments because at the present moment, the whole world is practically godless. Even in our own country, in India, where Bhagavad Gita was spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, even here the same attempt is going on. Big scholars, big politicians, they take Bhagavad Gita in their hand to show that they are great authorities in Bhagavad Gita, but they are presenting commentation just to defy Krishna. Prabhupada spoke for 10 minutes. There were no questions. Bhuvaneshwar's hot days and cool nights just suited Prabhupada. After resting for a few hours, he rose and began translating Srimad Bhagavatam. It was the first time he had done so since leaving Bombay for Kumbh Mela. He was nearing the end of the 9th canto. Gaur Govind Maharaj had scheduled a cornerstone laying ceremony for a new temple on February 2nd, the appearance day of Lord Nityananda. Prabhupada agreed to stay until then and leave the next morning. Srila Prabhupada's failing health prevented him from eating fried foods. His expert cooks in Bhuvaneshwar, Palika Devidasi and Shruti Rupa Devidasi carefully prepared meals that were nutritious and tasty, but without ghee. Sometimes, however, he specifically requested certain fried foods but would later complain that they didn't agree with him. Rameshwar Swami, Gargamuni Swami, and Bhavananda Goswami were sitting with Srila Prabhupada in his hut discussing deprogramming cases with him. They were saying that these enemies of ISKCON were so fanatical that for Srila Prabhupada to go to America would be dangerous. Srila Prabhupada interrupted, however, changing the subject. Our immediate problem, he said, is toward my health. I'm not digesting food. Therefore, there is some swelling in the hands and the legs. Is it affecting your translation work? Asked Rameshwar Swami. That is not affected, said Prabhupada. It is going on. I have translated 17 volumes. That may not be affected. He reached over and turned on the dictating machine, and they heard a few seconds of his most recent dictation from the 24th chapter of the 9th canto. We know you have a very low opinion of doctors, said Rameshwar Swami. I wish to die without a doctor, Prabhupada said. I may be seriously ill, but don't call a doctor. Chant Hare Krishna. Don't be disturbed. Everyone has to die. Let us die peacefully, without doctor. All this medicine, injections and prohibitions, this, that. Chant Hare Krishna and depend on Krishna. Nartasya Chagadam Udanvati. This is Prahlad Maharaj's verse. Find out this, 7th canto. Harishari reached to Prabhupada's bookcase for 7th canto, volume 2 of Srimad Bhagavatam. Within a few moments, he found the verse and read aloud. My Lord Nrsimhadev, O Supreme, because of a bodily conception of life, embodied souls neglected and not cared for by you, cannot do anything for their betterment. Whatever remedies they accept, although perhaps temporarily beneficial, are certainly impermanent. For example, a father and mother cannot protect their child, a physician in medicine cannot relieve a suffering patient, and a boat on the ocean cannot protect a drowning man. These are facts, said Prabhupada. That is ultimately, said Gargamuni, but maybe we could give you some temporary relief, because when you are ill, we feel... Yes, Prabhupada considered, but no severe treatment should be accepted. Better not to take. Better to chant Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada, said Bhavananda, in the past, when your health was not good, they have begun chanting Hare Krishna in all the temples around the world, a special additional kirtan. Perhaps we could institute that? No, said Prabhupada, not for my health. You do your kirtan ordinary. That first stroke on 2nd Avenue, that was almost fatal. You were present, I think? Prabhupada turned to Gargamuni and they reminisced about the stroke in 1967. Harishwari said a homeopathic doctor had just prescribed some special medicine and Prabhupada agreed to try it. Gargamuni said that his father used to have a similar swelling, but his had been due to diabetes. I have diabetes, said Prabhupada. Swami said his father used to give himself an insulin injection every morning. There are many gentlemen who take insulin at least once a day, said Prabhupada, although he obviously had no intentions of doing so. Prabhupada's main health program was his diet, but even in that he was not very strict. An Indian cook named Shantilal was present in Bhuvaneshwar and he used a lot of spices and ghee in cooking for Gargamuni Swami and his men. Sometimes Prabhupada would ask for some of what Shantilal had cooked, and this greatly disturbed Prabhupada's servants and cooks, although they could do nothing about it. Gargamuni had also been ill recently, and when Prabhupada first saw him with his cook Shantilal, he had said, I thought you were sick. Yes, Gargamuni had replied, but still I have to eat. Srila Prabhupada, you are eating very simply. You are not eating spice food. Sometimes I also have to have spices, Prabhupada replied. Otherwise there is no taste. And without that taste, what is the use of life? Then in a joking spirit, Prabhupada and Gargamuni commiserated. saying that they were not going to stop eating tasty prasadam. We would rather die, laughed Gargamuni Swami, and Prabhupada also laughed. On his last day, as Srila Prabhupada's secretary in India, Rameshwar Swami entered Prabhupada's hut and inquired again about war in the future. You have mentioned several times, he began, that there is a conflict which is inevitable between Russia and America. No, said Prabhupada. If they understand Krishna consciousness, both of them, then there will be no conflict. Now we are publishing in Russian. When Rameshwar asked what would happen if many cities were bombed, Prabhupada said that people would come to their senses and adopt a simpler agrarian life, just as the ISKCON farm communities were demonstrating. That will be a good lesson for them, said Prabhupada. So is this conflict part of the spreading of Krishna consciousness? Oh yes. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashachaya dushkritam. To conflict means to finish their sinful activities. Finished. Stop it. Lord Krishna's mission is not only to protect his devotees, but also to curb the miscreants. So after the conflict, there will be an opportunity to influence people. We shall take every opportunity, said Prabhupada. We are the best opportunists. Anukulyena Krishna. This is Anukula, favorable for spreading Krishna consciousness. And we shall immediately accept it. It doesn't matter what it is. We do not depend on the public opinion. That this is good or this is bad. Good means if it is favorable for spreading Krishna consciousness. Rameshwar said that it seemed that Krishna consciousness movement would have to grow much more before it could actually be as influential as Prabhupada was indicating. It will grow, said Prabhupada. It is growing. Simply, our workers should be very sincere and strict, and it will grow. Nobody can object. That's a fact. Simply, we have to be very strict and sincere, and nobody can check. We will be the only ones who have any vision of what to do after the war, said Rameshwar. Yes, said Prabhupada. We have got clear vision. We are not putting any theory. We are always presenting fact, and that is materializing. Just like we started our farm communities. It is materializing gradually. It is not yet fully organized. Still, there is hope that it will give peace to the people. There is sufficient hope. After a few days, more of the people of Bhubaneswar began to visit Srila Prabhupada. One evening, he was in his room speaking with several men when one of them asked, "Well, Swamiji, actually, what is God?" Srila Prabhupada opened his eyes widely in disbelief. "What is this?" he said. "You are from India, and you do not know what is God? This is the degradation of Kali Yuga." Srila Prabhupada continued his sharp criticism and then explained that Indians have the special benefit of Vedic literature and culture. Therefore, every Indian should know God. Prabhupada gave his first public lecture the next evening, and about 150 people attended. He began his lecture. "Last night, some gentleman questioned, 'What is God?' Srila Prabhupada explained that Sri Bhagavan personally appears in our country, Bharatvarsha, and leaves his instructions, which have been accepted by the Acharyas. India, Prabhupada explained, is especially favored since God personally incarnates there and imparts his instructions. But at the present moment, Prabhupada continued, our young men are inquiring, what is God? So why has this happened? It has happened because we are making progress toward animal civilization." Hare Krishna. Okay. Nice reading today. Prabhupada is in Bhubaneswar, Calcutta, Bhubaneswar, and we had darshan, very first darshan of His Holiness Gaur Govind Swami Maharaj today. Is one of the exalted disciples of Srila Prabhupada. Very, very simple, very humble, but very strong and bold personality at the same time. We have a lot of his lectures are there, his audios in YouTube. He goes by taptajivanam.com, but it's very wonderful if you get an opportunity to listen. I'm sure many of you would already listen to him. But yeah, he's also the Guru Maharaj of Arasit Krishna Goswami Maharaj, who comes here to Cincinnati, and many other current sannyasis who have taken Diksha from Gaur Govind Maharaj. So we see how he made a simple, like Prabhupada says, simple living and high thinking, right? So Prabhupada was touched by that, just a simple gesture, just thatched hut and made of, just wood and, basic mud hut. But still Prabhupada was so feeling at home and so joyful being in the simple dwelling that Maharaj had constructed. And he also had a plan to do the cornerstone laying ceremony on Nityananda Trayodasi. So yeah, we see again from all these examples of Srila Prabhupada and his sincere and strict disciples how to mold our own lives. That simplicity is what we should all aspire for. Simple living and high thinking. And that brings joy, like Prabhupada is saying, all this materialistic advancement is only causing more war, more disturbance, more anxiety. Hopefully, people will see during these opportunities the lifestyle of the devotees of ISKCON and living in farm communities, living simple life, agrarian life, and chanting Hare Krishna, distributing prasadam, and being happy. So that is the goal that Prabhupada taught us, and so many of his disciples are following on those instructions. Yeah, because everything that is happening. So yesterday, like I was mentioning, I had the opportunity to go and visit this recycling facility of Ramki. From my work, we have these different resource groups at our work. So, like this is an Eco ARG, Associate Resource Group. So, as part of that, I'm part of that. So, we went to visit this facility in Avondale, where it's close to downtown. So, after I finished my appointment at the hospital, that's kind of close by. So, when I went back, then you know I was like in my mind I was just laughing, like, so this lady who was presenting there, she was like, it's good. I mean, she was like very passionate about this, about her work, and about, like she said, she goes to schools and she teaches the value of recycling, and she has a lot of tie-ups, etc., etc. But she was very passionate and also boastful that we are very proud that we are able to do this and that and this and that, and we're able to recycle so many tons of this and that, and so they recycle plastic, paper, and aluminium and all of that. So again, it's all good, but then after that, when she took us into the facility for a tour, it was like I was like thinking, all this trash and garbage, human civilization, humans are producing so much of trash. Like, our consciousness is polluted, our environments are polluted. It's just 55 tons of recycle comes there every single day. 55 tons, like, you can't even, like, just thinking of that is crazy. 55,000 kilograms, kind of waste. But when you see that facility, like, things are recycling. It's actually, they're just sorting. They're not even recycling. They're just sorting things like that. They're taking, again, technology is being used to sort the plastic, to sort the paper, cardboard, sort the aluminum, sort bottles, glass, etc. And then eventually they all are segregated, and then they take the aluminiums and they compress them into like bales, lot of bales, and papers they compress, and then actually then they're sent to other facilities, in Ohio. So they are local. Ramki is local here, but they are also in Kentucky, Indiana, and a few other states, West Virginia, she was saying. So they are all sent to these different facilities. So like that, if we think what is happening in our own lives, same thing, like we were saying yesterday, it's just like we are just recycling in this material world again and again. Either we are going up in the higher planets, or we're going down in the lower planets. This material world is just recycling us, and ultimately, we are just suffering in this cycle. And then the other part, of course, this is a recycling facility. The other is the landfill. So she was talking about landfill also, which is there in Coleraine, and there are like 370 companies across US, she was saying, who do this recycling and landfill, and there are lots of landfills. And this landfill also, like, so many thousands of tons of garbage that is going in. And she was saying that it will take 30-40 years for this facility to sustain. That's it. After that, they will have to find another location. And even that 30-40 years, there's so much of again, environmentally hazardous things that are being produced there, but they're trying to use the gases that are being emitted from there to fuel their Ramki recycling trucks. And also some of the gas goes into Duke Energy pipelines, which we all get in our homes. So some way, something good is also coming out. It's okay, but the whole point is, she was saying many things that come here in the recycling have to be taken out and thrown into the landfill, and vice versa. A lot of things go to the landfill, which can be recycled, but they're not being recycled. So we see whatever advancement they make. She was saying some facilities, they were proud, like Ramki, she said was proud that they were only doing 3% waste. 3%, is what they waste out of recycling. But there are some facilities where 30 to 40% is not, even though it comes for recycling, it's not recycled. So like that, how much ever advancement technology can make, it will never be perfect. So either like our bodies, it's made of panchabhuta, so it will go into landfill, right? Earth will mix with earth, water will mix with water, fire will mix with fire, ether, air. So that is the landfill. And then this recycling of the mind and the soul, poor soul, is recycling along with the mind, going up and down in this vicious cycle. So the whole point is nothing of this will provide us salvation or provide us success of life. We have to get out of this cycle of recycling in this universe. So anyway, so those are some thoughts from yesterday's field trip relating back to our study today with Prabhupada. Okay, any other thoughts, comments? Anything anybody else would like to share?
Yeah, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, that Bhubaneswar ISKCON temple is really beautiful. That Radha Krishna temple is built with a lotus. The base is a lotus. The above is Radha Krishna temple. And the ISKCON temple is very good in Bhubaneswar. And that prasadam place are really awesome. If you go any day in Bhubaneswar, anytime, you'll get prasad.
Yeah, I think recently Pragyan Mataji and Nalin Prabhu were there. Their family were there, so they were also sharing that. But yeah, thank you. I've never visited Bhubaneswar, but yeah, like Prabhupada was saying, Orissa and Bengal are very, very important for our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu lived there for so many years. And even his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, was born in Puri. So yeah, Orissa, they're very special. Even Gaur Govind Swami Maharaj, he was, like I said, is such a nice and exalted Vaishnava from Orissa, and he helped lay the kind of the foundation for ISKCON's movement there. So yeah, thank you for sharing. I know you and Mataji were also talking to me the other day at the center about Orissa, and you both coming from Orissa. So yeah, thank you for joining us and giving us your association every single morning, and being such wonderful Vaishnavas coming from the heart of Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya from Orissa. Hare Krishna. So, anything else from anybody? Okay, if not, then we'll pause here for today. वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंतकोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय। जगद्गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद लीलामृत की जय। निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे। हरि हरि बोल। हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Krishna.